Hey guys, welcome back to another video featuring the rarest Halo Infinite cosmetics in the game today. Now, I made a video back in late March, I believe, and at that time, I still really don't make a lot of YouTube videos. Instead, I've only made one new video regarding Halo Infinite, but I wanted to do something a little bit fun and go over my personal opinion on, at that time, the rarest armor coatings for the game. So I made a quick top 10 list, just kind of detailed, again, what I liked about the armor, how to acquire it, and just doing a nice little quick top 10. I wasn't really sure a lot of people were even going to see the video, so I just kind of did it for fun. And surprisingly, it did get a lot of views. I mean, it didn't get a ton of views, but I believe at this point it's at about 1,600 views. So it did pretty well. I got a decent amount of likes. It's got a lot of comments. People seem to enjoy it. So I figured, a lot of times these types of videos, as new things come out, they get outdated and whatnot. So I figured, I didn't really have any other ideas and people seem to like that. So I wanted to go back and just update and do another rare cosmetic video for Halo Infinite. And the first time was just top 10 armors. There are a few that aren't as rare anymore, either because they just got released back in the shop or they got reintroduced as Twitch drops. So there was like 4 or 5 that aren't as rare anymore as of today. So these videos do become quickly outdated. So I'm assuming, in a couple months, this video will also probably be outdated, but it is what it is. It's, nothing too crazy. I mean, I'm just doing it for fun. And then for people that find it and enjoy it, it's nothing too serious. So it doesn't really matter. But what I'm going to do for this video is I'm going to do more than just armor. So I'll do like another quick top 10. I probably won't go too crazy on explaining the armors like I did the first time. If there's something new on the list, I will say how, again, just like the last video, how to acquire it, just going over the looks a little bit. But if an armor showed up in the previous video, in this video, I won't go too in depth into it. You can always check out my old video if you want to take a look at that. It's about 45 minutes. If I did that over again, it would just become too long and bloated. So I don't want to go too crazy into that because I'm going to do more than armors this time. So I'll do another quick, like I said, quick top 10 with the armors, just my updated personal opinion on some of the rarest coatings in the game. I added about, I think, 4 or 5 new ones. And then the rest are just armors that were in the previous video, but I kind of changed them, or at least a few of them, their placements on the top 10. And then after that, I'll do a quick synopsis on, some of the rarest weapon coatings, vehicle coatings. There's not too many rare vehicle coatings, but I'll still go over it. I'll even do a couple of rare nameplates and emblems, because this game has a ton of nameplates and emblems, like a crazy amount, honestly. So I'll go over a few that are considered pretty rare or not as well known. So yeah, I mean, just a little bit of everything. And there's even some things I want to go over in terms of a lot of like the 343. The 343 devs have a lot of exclusives. There's other exclusives that people probably don't even know about. I mean, there was like Forerunner/pilot testing nameplates and I mean, this game, even though it's not even been out for an official year yet, this November, I guess November 15th was when the multiplayer came out, but then December 8th for the campaign. But we'll consider November 15th its first full year. I mean, this game has a ton of stuff already in its first year. So I'm going to go over just some of the rare stuff that came out for this first year. So again, we're going to start with the armor first, and we'll just, like I said, do a quick top 10. So what has changed in the armor? Now, the first video, I had a few that were rare at the time, probably not as rare now. Number 10 last time was Deathly Poison. I had that on the list. And then some of the other ones I had on the list that aren't going to be on the list now are, one was Deathly Poison. Willow T, HCS launch, and the Platinum anniversary. And the reason being for those is just because Deathly Poison, even though it is still a promo item, it's probably one of the most common promotional coatings that you can find. A lot of people seem to have it nowadays, so I kind of took that off the list. I mean, if I really wanted to, I probably could have kept that on, but it was in the first video. It was at number 10 already, so I decided to do some other armors in its place just to get some variety in the video. Willow T I took off as well because I did notice a lot of people via looking at the API do have it equipped. So I took that off as well. And that was the same thing with the Platinum Anniversary. A lot of people seem to have that equipped as well. So it wasn't as rare as I thought it was. I took that off the list as well. And then for HCS launch, I took that off because it was reintroduced at the time. I thought, well, this is probably not going to be a Twitch drop that comes back again due to the name. However, 343 has brought that armor coating back via Twitch drops, I believe 2 times since that video was made. So that's obviously not as rare anymore. So those are the 4 I took off. And in its place, I'm gonna probably surprise a lot of people because none of these are going to be, well, the new ones aren't going to be any promotional items. They were actually all in the shop during season 1, and I think the reason why they're rarer than most of the other armor coatings in the game were because they were tied to the old daily bundle system. Remember dailies? That was a good time, right? Hopefully they get back to more item shop rotations and dailies back, for season 3, because just doing like a once a week shop with 4 items is kind of whack. But back during season 1 when we had dailies, they had coatings that were in dailies, and at the time this was before they changed all the pricing. So a lot of these dailies back then were 1,000 credits or like 800 credits, and some of them only showed up for 1 day and then never again. So that's why some of these coatings in the dailies back in season 1, that's why these are, in my opinion, pretty rare. And just to spice up the video a little bit to show some new armors that I didn't show the first time. So at number 10, I'm going to have this armor coating that I already have equipped for the video. And let me see, this is called Wooster Smoke. Now, Wooster Smoke, the reason why I have this at number 10 is this was included in the ISR daily bundle that only appeared 3 times in the shop. So this was November 17th was the first time it showed up, then on November 21st, and then the 3rd time and its last time that it appeared in the shop was December 10th of last year. So after December 10th of 2021, this never showed back up in the shop. And at the time, it was for 1,000 credits. Now, this was a part of the ISR daily bundle. So the ISR helmet, which is a very rare helmet, also had this coating included in that bundle. So that's why I consider this a pretty rare coating, just because not too many people bought that bundle. And it's called Booster Smoke. I think another reason why a lot of people don't have this maybe equipped at the time, because when I look at the API, it doesn't show how many people have it total. It only shows how many people have it equipped currently. So I believe this is only at like 0.01% or some crazy number like that. However, that doesn't mean that 0.01% have it in total. That just means currently equipped. So it could be a little bit misleading, but that's probably the best view I have on it. And then I took a look at the rest of the components that came with the ISR bundle and to see how many people have the ISR helmet equipped. I think it came with a few shoulder pieces, so I kind of based it around that. The bundle, I mean, the coating itself, this was a very basic coating that came with the bundle. I mean, it's nothing too crazy. Again, since this is a new one, I'll kind of go over a little bit on the details of it. I mean, you could see it right here. I think the best thing about this coating, honestly, is the helmet. Now, I am wearing the Enigma helmet, which, by the way, is considered the rarest helmet in the game. And there's going to be a coating that is included with this helmet that I'm going to show in a little bit. The reason why I like the Enigma helmet so much, especially for this coating, is Enigma always has a large, if the armor has like a two-tone color going on, a lot of times the Enigma helmet has the most area on the top that has a second color going on. So Wooster Smoke has this red outline on top of the helmet, and it kind of goes around where the ears are, and then the back of the helmet too has the red going on with it. And it's an interesting coating because it's weird because the rest of the coating is just like this very light tan, sort of scuffed material going on. It's kind of cool that it doesn't have a black undersuit. It's a gray undersuit, so that's pretty cool with the white chest plates. I have the High-Com Sentinel shoulders on. Nothing going too crazy going on with this. Just kind of matches the rest of the armor as they usually do. That's a little bit of red attached to it as well, but nothing too crazy. So yeah, I mean, this is cool. I paired it with a red visor as well to match the red helmet, and then the red Soul Testing Grounds emblem to kind of give it a little bit of nice contrast with the two-tone tan and red that this coating does have. But while this isn't a very crazy looking coating, it's still a pretty sleek coating, I think, and it's relatively rare because, like I said, it was attached to the ISR bundle, which hasn't showed up since December 10th of last year. Now, as a caveat, before I go on, I do think that 343 is going to include a lot of the old Season 1 bundles for the winter update. The reason why I think that is because they are doing that free Reach 30 tier battle pass that has some of those old Reach armor pieces and whatnot. And they're going to have to pad out the store until Season 3. So the winter update is 4 months long. So since they're doing the old Reach pieces, I'm going to assume that 343, instead of just cycling or recycling Season 2 content, they're probably going to go back and recycle some of the long requested Season 1 content. I'm not sure if they're going to bring back the bundles as they were, or are they going to split up the pieces a little bit. If they do bring back Season 1 content, I'm also going to assume that it's going to be much, much cheaper than it was originally. So for instance, if the ISR bundle comes back, instead of being 1,000 credits, it might be 500 credits, or they might just have the ISR helmet separately for 500 credits. I doubt that. If they do bring stuff back, it'll probably just be within the same bundles. They're probably not going to split stuff up too much because I don't think they can really do that as of now, as crazy as that sounds. But they'll probably just bring back the old bundles at a discount price, in my opinion. So, all of these Season 1 bundle coatings that I'm going to show within the next few minutes, they're probably, if that does happen, they're not going to be as rare, obviously. But, like I said before, I didn't want to wait to make the video another 2 months to see if that happens. I mean, if it happens, it happens, whatever, then the video gets outdated. But it's no big deal. Like I said, it's not super serious, and I can always make new videos in the future. But this one I have at number 10, and it's Wooster Smoke. And let's go on to the next. All right, and then for the next one I have, this is called Mil-Spec Stack. And by the way, I didn't mention this previously, but I am going to throw up a little graphic on the side detailing basically what I'm kind of saying, just going over what the bundle was called, when it was included in the shop, how many credits, and so forth. So I'll have that up as a little graphic as in the beginning as I talk about these armor coatings. But this one's called Mil-Spec Stack. And this was a part of the Enigma bundle. So Enigma is a little bit more rare than the ISR. So that's why I have this at number 9 and the other one at number 10, and Wooster Smoke at number 10. So again, the Enigma bundle, just like the ISR daily bundle, was for 1,000 credits, except the Enigma bundle only showed up twice. And those 2 times were November 15th, which was the very first day of the multiplayer, and then another time on December 1st, and then it never showed back up in the shop. So that's why Enigma is considered one of the rarest helmets in the game, because it only showed up twice. Once was the very first day, the game went live with the multiplayer, and then December 1st, and that was it. And then the Enigma bundle also had this armor coating attached to it called Mil-Spec Stack. Again, it's a lot of these bundles, daily bundles, didn't have crazy looking armor coatings at the time, so it's just like a one sort of, I don't even know what color this is. It's like a very, very light green, I want to say. I'm not like a color expert, so I can't tell you off the bat. It's a very, very like sort of muted green with a sort of gray, light black undersuit. Nothing too crazy with this one. It has a few gold accents here and there, but most of it is just like that, almost like a very muted green with a black undersuit. So nothing too crazy going on. I paired it with a gold visor to sort of complement the gold accents that are on the side, a little bit on the shoulder pieces for the high comm sentinels, and a little bit on the belt. But besides that, it's a very, I don't want to say plain, because plain kind of implies that it's sort of a bad armor coating. You know, personally, I probably wouldn't wear this one. I mean, you could wear it just to kind of flex like the rarity of it. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone in game wear this armor coating. In fact, all these daily bundle armor coatings, aside from maybe like one or two, I don't think I've ever seen anyone wear these armor coatings in games. So no one really wears these. And I think part of it's just due to how rare they were, because they were all tied to old Season 1 bundles. But yeah, this one's called Mil-Spec Stack, and it was a part of the Enigma daily bundle, which again only showed up twice, so as of now. And that's why I have this at number 9 on the new top 10 list. Okay, and for number 8, we're going to have an armor coating called Complementary Poppy. This one I have seen a few people wear. This one was included in a daily bundle called the Sleepwalker Suite, which was only 500 credits. This one's surprising to me. This one was a little bit iffy because I wasn't sure if it was just not worn or if it was rare, because this actually showed up in the shop 5 separate times and it was only for 500 credits. So I feel like a lot of people might have this armor coating. But again, when I checked the API, there was basically no one wearing this armor coating. And honestly, if you look at it, it's actually a pretty damn cool looking armor coating. I mean, I'm surprised more people aren't wearing this. So in my opinion, the reason why more people aren't wearing it is because a lot of people just don't have it. But it showed up 5 times in the shop. So the first time, this was all in the new year. So January 13th, February 17th, February 20th, April 27th, and the latest it showed up in the shop was back on May 1st. So again, it showed up 5 separate times, and it was only for 500 credits as well. So, you know, for now I have this up there at number 8. You know, the thing with these armor coatings too is they might not be as rare, I mean, as some of the other ones, but like I said before, I wanted to spice up the video a little bit and maybe show off some armor coatings that people just weren't aware of or they haven't seen before that were in old Season 1 daily bundles, because it would have been a boring video if I just showed, oh, here's Deathly Poison again, but instead of number 10, it's now number 9, and you know what I'm saying? So I wanted to give a little, you know, something new for people checking out the video again. I mean, you'll see some of the other armor coatings that were in the past video show up again, just because they're still so freaking rare. So I do have a surprise because I finally acquired the top 2 that I'll actually show off in game. But yeah, I mean, for this one, think about it, guys. If this was a promotional coating that was in like an old, like imagine this was like the Nabisco coating instead of granular or something like that, right? You know, people would be copping this, want to cop this because it looks good. Like, I think this coating looks great in my opinion. I would 100% rock this coating if I had it. It's pretty unique too because it has this nice red outside of the main shell of the armor coating is this nice bright red. Has the black undersuit, and it has a 2-tone color along with the red. I mean, it's funny how they always like separate the undie. I always love when 343 does that. So it's like, oh yeah, they have a blue jock strap. But then it also, like with the Enigma bundle, or the Enigma helmet, I should say, as you can see, that's why I like wearing Enigma so much, is just because look how much blue you have on top here. If some other helmets do have a blue line, but it's not as wide as the Enigma helmet, which is why I like rocking the Enigma so much. And then it shows off more blue back here, some blue back here. Even has some like a random green patch right here. Down here too, the knees and the shoes, the boots. The shoes, the Spartan shoes. The boots have a little bit of that light blue, and then it also has the gold accents as well. So again, if you've seen my last video, you know how much I enjoy armor coatings that have the two-tone contrast, where you know you got the red and the black, and then it has the gold underneath the red that shows along the creases here. Looks super clean, and then you pair it with the high comp Sentinel shoulders that have this nice gold eagle section here with the black lines. And then, of course, with these are my favorite gloves, by the way, too, the Prevespa gloves. Or I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right, Prevespa or something like that. Always complements the high comp Sentinels really well. And 343 has redone a lot of these, by the way. Before, some of them were kind of scuffed, but they've redone a lot of coatings with these gloves in mind. So now they look a lot better. But yeah, I mean, and then this pairs really well too if you have this visor, the MIA visor. I'm not sure exactly. I didn't write down where I got this visor from, so you just have to look it up yourself. And so unfortunately, I wasn't prepared to go over visors too much, so I didn't write down where I got this. I'm assuming it was in the shop in season 1. But it pairs super nice with this armor coating because it's like the same sort of light blue that matches the helmet and, you know, the rest of the armor coating as well. So again, this is a very sleek looking armor coating. Showed up 5 times in the shop, and it was only a 500 credit daily bundle. So I just don't see a lot of people wearing it. And I'm surprised because, like I said, this is a very cool looking, you know, there's a lot of red coatings in this game, but, you know, I like this one just because it's a little bit different because of the blue. You know, you don't see it too much. You see a lot of red, blacks, golds, and whatnot, but this blue, the blue accents really sell it apart from some of the other coatings that I've seen. So this is number 8, complimentary poppy. All right, guys, for number 7, I have an armor coating called Malmok Shore. This coating, again, it's like the opposite of the other one. So instead of the red, it has this nice blue look to it with the red thigh piece coating underneath the thigh here. But I don't really see anyone rock this coating. And I'm surprised because, again, I think it's a really cool looking coating, but I just don't see anyone ever wear this. So, and I think I know the reason why. This was a part of it was called the Cobalt Medic Daily Bundle. It was for 700 credits. And it only appeared in the shop as a daily bundle for 1 day. And that was back on January 15th. That was the only day this daily bundle came up inexplicably. For some reason, it just never came back. So it was only in the shop for 1 day. And that's probably why not many people got this. Which is a shame because it's just so weird how 343, it can release something like Complimentary Poppy 5 days in a span of like 3 months, but then have this one that only showed up once and never again. You know, it's just very weird to me. They have some weird choices for the shop system, I tell you that, but that's a whole nother video that I probably won't make, but because it's just very annoying to talk about. But this one, again, is called Malmok Shore. And yeah, I don't see anyone wear this. And I think it's a really nice coating. It has the blue with the white accents on the chest, the undies. The helmet has the white section underneath where the jaw is. And then if you pair it with the high con Sentinels, which is probably me and everyone else's favorite armor piece currently, or shoulders, I should say, for the Mark 7, it has the gold eagle with the white stripe plating on the side. Prevespa gloves has the gold there. And it's just a very sleek looking armor coating. I mean, if you like blue, if blue is your favorite color, I mean, this is a very worthwhile armor coating to wear. I just don't see many people wear it. And I think the reason why is because, like I said, it just showed up for 1 day and never again. So, you know, you just got to hope that 343 just remembers all these bundles, and they bring them back because, you know, it's a shame that an armor coating so cool was just in the shop for one day and then never again for people to buy or to get in any way. And like I said previously, it has this like random, everything is like uniform color. It's like blue, white, gold. Oh, look, this random red here. You know, I like it. It kind of works a little bit, but I guess it probably would have looked a little bit better if this was white, maybe, instead of red. But, you know, either way, it's a very small detail for the armor coating. And yeah, I mean, this is a very cool and, in my opinion, pretty rare because, oh, there's some red back here behind the knees too. But yeah, I think this is a very cool looking coating. And I have this at number 7 called Malmok Shore. All right, guys, so that was my from 10 to 6. And again, I just wanted to show off some armor coatings that weren't as maybe well known, that weren't promotional coatings, and that they were in the shop. Just a lot of people missed, I guess. But let me know down in the comments below if you do have these coatings or if you wear them, because I would love to know. Before I move on, the top 6 are all coatings that I've previously mentioned in my old video, so I won't go too in depth on these. They're just kind of relisted from 6 to 1, except the final 2. I kept the final 2 the same, but the rest I just kind of switched around. But I'll still go over them real quick, not, you know, nothing too detailed, but just to finish out the top 10. Before I do that, I want to show one more coating that probably could be considered in this, but it's just, in my opinion, outside the top 10. So this one was right outside the top 10, but it's still pretty rare in my opinion. I just want to kind of show it off real quick before I get into the other ones that were already in the last video. But this one was called Forgotten Sands. And for this one, let me just double check. It was in the, back when the Uri entrenched, that first one was in the, you know, for season 1, and it was called the Desert Sun Daily Bundle for 700 credits. It was only in the shop 2 times, back on November 29th, and then again in the new year on January 4th, and that was it. So again, another daily bundle that was in the shop only 2 times, pretty high priced, and never showed up again. The thing with this one is actually for all 3 of the launch cores, so you could wear this on the Mark 7, the Mark 5, and the Uri. So that's kind of cool about it. This is sort of similar to Booster Smoke in that sort of like light tan department. The only difference is it loses the red and just has more black accents. So the chest piece is black instead of silver. The High Comp Sentinels have a nice matte black finish to them, and it pairs really well with a black visor like Graphite Soul or Beltol. I have Graphite Soul on right now. It looks really clean with it. It's, again, one of those basic armor coatings that actually look really, really good in my opinion, that I just don't see a lot of people wearing. And again, probably just because these old daily bundles just showed up in the shop so, you know, once or twice and then never again. So you know, you can probably consider this a pretty rare coating. I just had it outside the top 10, but I just want to give it a special mention before I move on. All right, guys, so we're going back to the armors that were in the first video I showed up. The only difference, like I said, is the order of which they appear. So in the last video, I had Wall Breacher actually at number 9. I bumped that up to number 6 because I feel like all these coatings that I'm about to show are just going to get more rare as time goes on, just because there's no way to get them anymore. Wall Breacher is still in that sort of that league where it's not as rare as some of the top coatings that I will be showing in a few minutes, but still relatively rare in the grand scheme of things. You just don't see too many people wear it, you know, even though it's a cool looking coating. And again, I feel like it should be bumped up from 9 to 6. So yeah, like I said, I'm not going to go over too much of it, just to know that this was number 9. Now I have this at number 6, and it's a pretty cool looking coating. Again, like I said, I'm not going to go over too much details with these. If you want to find out, how to get these armor coatings and my, a more detailed opinion on the look of them and whatnot, you can just watch my old video. I have them tagged so you can quickly find them within the video itself, and I go over a little bit more. Like I said, if I went over them again, this video would just get bloated and be like over an hour long. It's probably going to be, this video is probably going to be like 40 minutes anyway, which is long to begin with, but I don't want it too much longer than that because then it's going to be too long for people to sit down and enjoy. It's going to be like a movie length, so I don't want to go too crazy. But I have this at number 6 on the new top 10 list. All right, and this might surprise some people, but Watchdog I have at number 5 now. In my old video, I had Watchdog at number 3, but I actually bumped this down 2 slots to number 5. Now, hear me out, guys. Even though this is still an extremely rare armor coating that you could only get for hitting max rank in Halo 5, the reason why I moved it down 2 is because even though this is rare, technically there are still thousands of people that hit max rank in Halo 5. So, whether those people maybe never, or they didn't move on to Halo Infinite, or they played Halo Infinite and they're already dipped, or they have it equipped right now, that still technically means that thousands of people do have this armor coating. And the 4 through 1 on this list coming up, there's no way 1,000 plus people have those coatings. So I kind of looked at it in that sense, where even though this is considered super rare, I would say at least 1,000 people have, definitely more than 1,000. I'd say thousands have this armor coating from hitting max rank in Halo 5. So that's the only reason why I bumped it down to number 5 instead of having it in the top 3. That was my reasoning for it. If you think this should be higher, let me know. But I think that's a good sort of consensus to come away with for this coating. Again, I'm really surprised, before I move on, that 343 has not fixed, air quotes, fixed this armor coating, just because all the way back during the season 1 outcome report, I think back in like April, or like beginning of May, or like probably actually it was April, where they said that they were going to adjust this armor coating to make it look more like the renders that 343 showed off. And then I'll show off the renders, what they look like. I put a little graphic up to show you how they were meant to look when 343 showed them off. Now that was an early concept, like a, now it's even on the bottom, it says just like an in-game render. So it's like subject to change. But I'm assuming when 343 said that they were going to, someone's like fix the armor coating, that they were going to make it more like the render, which would be super dope, because I think the render, even though how it turned out, like I said in the old video, I think it's still a nice looking armor coating, but the pre-release render that they showed, I think looks 10 times better. So if they fix it to make it look like that, this armor coating will be supremely sick. And I think a lot more people will start wearing it once it does look like that. It's just weird that we got that from 343 back in April, and we're now reaching November. Today's October 3rd, and we haven't heard a peep from that. Who knows when that's coming? I mean, I understand it, guys. I mean, they have a lot bigger issues to take care of before they switch the armor coating, right? I just assume that the people that are working on the armor coatings aren't the ones trying to fix desync. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they're separate teams, you would think. But I digress. But yeah, I have this at number 5 now instead of number 3, and that is the Watchdog armor coating. All right, guys, and for number 4, I have the Redshift armor coating. In the old video, I actually had this at number 8 and have bumped it all the way to number 4. Again, this, just like Watchdog, this was another coating that looked different. This one looks slightly different in the before launch render that 343 showed off. It was a little bit more scuffed up, and it wasn't as plasticky looking. In my opinion, I think this version of the armor looks better than the old render, but apparently when they switch Watchdog, they're also going to, fix this one, which is kind of bad because I like this one better in my opinion, but there are a lot of people that don't like that sort of like fake plasticky looking like action figure type coating. So some people like that they're going to go back to the old render and some people don't. In my opinion, what they should do is eventually they should have some sort of in-game slider, say like for instance, have a slider like that's down here where if it's all the way to the left, then it looks super scuffed. And then if you bump it all the way to the right, then it looks like, a brand new action figure or Spartan, just give the player the power to just make what they want themselves, so then every armor coating can either be scuffed or look super clean. I'm assuming that's a lot easier said than done. Otherwise they probably would have done it already. But as far as I know, like they haven't even mentioned something like that, a system like that. So, it's probably not going to be on their to-do list currently, and if ever, but it's something that I would really like to see to give players that extra layer of customization to how they want their armor to look. But anyway, going back to this coating, I have this at number 4. Again, GameStop exclusive. Still a really, really cool looking armor coating. If you like red, like I said in the last video, this should be your favorite coating. And again, even though there are a lot of red and black coatings in the game currently, especially the Primal Glory Twitch drop coating, which more people have than this, which has that sort of similar look to it. Some people even like that look better. So you see less and less people wearing this coating, probably just because was an older promo coating maybe. And people like to always wear the new and the fresh look, and they don't want to just wear this the entire time. So, but I still consider this a super rare coating from GameStop that so far has not come back. And so far, none of these promos have come back. So, and that's the other thing that I wanted to mention with all these promo coatings is that Sketch actually recently tweeted that he said that, hey, Halo Infinite has had a ton of, marketing exclusives pre-release and post-release, mostly pre-release. And he actually questioned the community, asking if the community would like to see these armor coatings come back, maybe either through the shop or probably not Twitch drops. I would say mostly through the shop, maybe a challenge type system if they have some new sort of accommodation challenge system that might add in, or he said other vectors. So I'm assuming that means new promotions. I don't know. What do you think in the comments down below? Do you think they should bring back these old coatings, these old promo coatings? Even though I have all these coatings, I'm not going to this is my opinion. I'm not going to gatekeep people from getting these coatings. So what a lot of people did in the comments were, oh no, exclusive should stay exclusive, Sketch, man. Like, what's the point of the promo if people could just buy? I mean, dude, first off, you've had the coating exclusively for like an entire year, and then Sketch didn't even say that this was going to happen. He says, this is not even decided yet. I just want to get your guys' opinion on it. So, I mean, if they ever really do bring back these old coatings, they're either probably not going to be, I'm assuming that they would just put them into new promotions, maybe in the shop, if they ever redo the shop layout and they have like a little separate tab for like promotional coatings, they'll put them in there. But if they do come back, they're probably just going to be put into new promotions, in my opinion. And I mean, we've had these coatings at the, if they do bring them back, they're probably going to bring them back next year sometime. So you're going to have these coatings be in the game since launch. People have had these coatings exclusively for like going to be over a year, almost into 2 years by time, if they do ever come back. So, I mean, to say like, oh, they should just stay exclusives, man. I'm not going to gatekeep people for, not getting these coatings. I feel like everyone should be allowed. There shouldn't be any, fear of missing out, which is the big word that this game has besides its battle pass. There's a lot of FOMO involved with this game. So I'm not a big fan of having these armor coatings be available for a few months 2 years ago, where people had to redeem a year before the game came out, before it got delayed. And then if they missed out on doing that, they're never going to get these armor coatings again. I think that's a shitty deal. So in my opinion, they should bring them back. But I'd like to see in the comments down below if you think they should stay exclusives to kind of, people could just flex the rarity, or if they should bring them back. Just let me know down in the comments. But that's my opinion on the matter. And as of now, this is still exclusive and have it at number 4 on the list. All right, and for number 3, this one I bumped up tremendously from the old video. So in the old video, and I feel like I made a mistake in the old video, I had this all the way back at number 7 during my first video of the top 10. And as soon as I put it out, I took a look over it again and I realized, that was probably a bad idea. Because there's no way that Action Block should have been that far down. This is still a very rare coating, one of the rarest coatings in the game still, even though it's available if you want it on eBay. It's very expensive, but it's still available. But yeah, this should be much higher. So I actually have this at number 3 now on the list. And this was back quickly for a Mega Construx Warthog Rally set, and it had to have a special ULC sticker attached to it on the first run. Obviously they're not doing that anymore, but you could still get codes. Surprisingly, you could still get codes on eBay for this, even though it might run you a few $100, so it's super expensive. But the Action Block armor coating, even though I've seen a decent amount of people with this on, I feel like before, again, is Watchdog rarer than this coating? I mean, at first thought you would think yes, it must be, but think about it, because like I said before, Watchdog, there's thousands of people that got 152 in Halo 5, which means they have Watchdog. So do you think thousands of people have this armor coating in Halo Infinite? In my opinion, no. I definitely don't think thousands of people have this coating. So I have this slightly over Redshift as well. I guess you could do a toss-up if it's Action Block or Redshift, but I decided to do Redshift at 4 and then this at 3. So I kind of I disrespected this armor coating a little bit in the first video, so I got to give its due and give it more respect. So I have this armor coating at number 3 on the top 10 list. And you might be wondering, why am I pairing it with this Legend Gold visor? Reason being is because if you weren't aware, this was, obviously since it came from Mega Construx, this was a figure that Mega Construx had. And the figures back in the day actually had gold visors on them. So, just a little, did you know? So that's why if I do rock this coating, I want to rock it how it originally looked for Mega Construx, so I gave it a little gold visor coating with it. So yeah, I mean, I consider this the 3rd rarest coating in the game. All right, guys, and here we go. We got the top 2, same as last video, but if you remember my last video, you know that I was super salty that I did not have these armor coatings. I am happy to say that I have gotten super lucky, and I was able, actually recently, I was able to contact a person that had the Nabisco codes unredeemed. Remarkably, he still had unredeemed codes. So I got super lucky and got hooked up with this guy that had these codes, and I finally was able to acquire these armor coatings. So number 2 is the Monarch armor coating. Last time I had to show you scuffed screenshots on the Infinite News website. By the way, I forgot to mention that a lot of these graphics that I'm putting up to show these armor coatings, and a lot of the promotional, how I got information on these promotional coatings in the first place, was the Infinite News website run by someone called Sizzlin. Highly recommend to check this guy's website out. He's put a lot of time and effort to make this website for Halo Infinite, detailing promotions old and new. He has a list of the cosmetics that you can use a search bar for. It shows what's in the shop. It shows past and current capstone rewards. I mean, it's an amazing site. So I got to give a shout out to Sizzlin. I'll put a link to his website in the description. And he also runs, I don't know if he runs, but he has a YouTube channel that makes new videos every week detailing Halo Infinite, what's going on in Halo Infinite, new promotions, clips that people send in, really cool stuff. he also has a Twitter and a Discord server where he goes over. It's just a nice little community that goes over promotions. He pings you during Twitch drops or new promotions, so you can always stay up to date on stuff that's going down. So if you like collecting in Halo Infinite, this is the website to go to, and probably the Twitter and the Discord server to join. So again, I'll throw that in the description below. But that's how I got all this information in the first place. So, you know, if you knew if you saw my last video, you know that these are Nabisco back in 2020, considered the rarest coatings in the game currently. It's amazing. I was able to get, not only I was able to get this, I was able to get granular. He even had the oscillation armor emblem and nameplate, which by the way is bugged. I mean, I have the armor emblem right here, but the nameplate for oscillation, I didn't even know that. Like the nameplate for oscillation is bugged. It doesn't even show up in game. When I redeemed this code, it actually gave me the armor emblem instead. And then I redeemed the armor emblem code, and I thought maybe it was going to give me the nameplate because they just had it backwards, but it didn't give me anything. So I sent in a support ticket, and Sizzlin said, the guy who runs Halo Infinite News, said that the nameplate is within the API. So they do have a nameplate for it, but unfortunately it's bugged where the code redeem is not attached to the proper asset. So hopefully, this has happened before in the past. I know off the top of my head, during the Kroger 2021 promotion that gave you the Cherry Warthog, it also was supposed to give you a Trivector vehicle emblem. Apparently that wasn't in the game for like the first 6 or 7 months. And then I believe once season 2 hit in May, it just randomly showed up. So again, I sent them a support ticket so they are aware of the issue for, you know, the very select few that even have the oscillation nameplate. So hopefully for the winter update or at the latest season 3, we can see it pop up in game, because according again to Sizzlin, who knows all about this stuff, he said that the oscillation nameplate is currently the only bugged promotion item in the game. Everything else is good to go. So that's the only thing left that's still bugged. But I was able to get the armor emblem and even Delta Diamond, which I'll show in a little bit. But yeah, this is the number 2, the rarest coating in the game. Again, if you saw my old video, you would know that I kind of said it looks similar to Cadet Violet, the only difference being the sort of the matte gold accents for it. The purple is definitely not as scuffed, and it's a darker shade of purple. So it's a really clean looking coating. I did pair it with High Comp Sentinels because every other shoulder piece just has all purple here. So High Comp Sentinels has the muted gold where the eagle is. So it gives more of a, you know, I wanted more gold since the rest of it's mostly purple. So I wanted a little bit more gold to show off the contrast between the two. The only bad thing is it has like these silver accents here on the side, which at first glance don't really match the armor coating, but it actually kind of does. If you go into, do a close-up view again, notice how, see how these like locks up here, they're silver, and then there's 2 more back here that are also silver, and then right down here, a little necktie, a little bow tie for the Spartan. This is silver as well. Very tough to see unless you zoom in like I just did, but I guess that's why these are silver as well. To sort, and these back here, these vents here are silver. So, I mean, I probably would have preferred if these were gold as well, or just remain purple instead of silver, but it does kind of match these metallic locks that are kind of around the neck and shoulder area, and these vents in the back here. But I mostly wear it because it gives more of a purple accent, which, like I said before, none of the other shoulders give the gold. It's just all purple. So, you know, again, this is definitely one of the rarest coatings in the game. And, you know, I feel like if they do bring back old promos, the Nabisco should be the first ones to come back, just because, like I said in my last video, I mean, the reason why these are so rare is because the promotion was during peak COVID time, right before the game was delayed. So a lot of people, once it got delayed, it was out of their mind, out of sight, out of mind. So they didn't really care. And a lot of people didn't even realize how coatings are going to work in this game to begin with. So a lot of people just assumed that they were going to bring back this promo for when the game launched, or there was going to be in the store. you know, 3 months after the game came out due to the exclusivity period. But it didn't work out that way, unfortunately. And the promotion never came back. And after the 3 months were up, 343 never released them in the shop, or they just never brought them back. So as of today, this is still not able to be obtained any other way. And I was super lucky to get codes for these. I don't think, after the codes I used, I would be hard pressed if any more codes show up for this, unfortunately. So hopefully, if Sketch does bring back, or, you know, the 343 live service team does bring back old promos, in my opinion, just because of, you know, the whole COVID thing going back during the promotion period during 2020, and it was a year before, you know, the game was launched, and a whole shitstorm of reasons why. These should be one of the first coatings that come back, in my opinion. This and granular. But as of now, it's so rare. I have this at number 2. All right, guys. And that brings us to still the undisputed number 1 rarest armor coating in the game, and that is granular. This was the same number 1 as my old video, just as Monarch was number 2, except now I can show it off in game. And I also have a bunch of pretty rare stuff attached to it as well. Again, super goofy looking coating, but damn it, I love it just because of how out there and unique it is compared to all the other armor coatings. It also pairs super nice with the new Echelon Ecto, like a lime green visor that perfectly matches the lime green wrists. So I wear this visor to sort of complement the wrist area. And again, I have Enigma on, so it has the blue outline on top of the helmet as well as around the back to complement the blue gloves. And then again, High-Con Sentinels, because it's the chunkiest shoulder pieces from Mark 7 to show off the red, and it has the black line on the sides to match the red knee pads as well. This also goes super well with this holo map armor effect that bounces off the lime right here. So it kind of like matches really well. And then also pairs it with the little daisy on top and the pineapple nades on the chest as well. So it's amazing. Like, it's a super goofy coating, but there's so many things that pair well with this coating. It's actually absurd. You know, you would never think that a coating that looks like this would pair so well with so many options, but for some reason it does. Especially the old this past Yappening event with the armor effect that pairs super well with it too. I'll just show it off real quick. Beyond the Burrow. Kind of show it. Yeah, like, look at this, man. Like, it's almost like this mythic effect was like made for granular. It like matches perfectly with the granular coating. And even though this is a pay to lose sort of deal here, I still rock this because it just matches so well with the granular armor coating. I also have the kill effect that combines with this, and then the Echelon Ecto as well. So I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just so weird that how so many different things pair so well with the granular armor coating. And this is still, even today, since it never came back, these promotions, the Nabisco promotions, this is still easily the number 1 rarest armor coating in Halo Infinite. And I was fortunate enough to show you guys off an in-game model of what it looks like with all these, you know, rare accessories. Enigma helmet as well attached to it. So a very super lucky to acquire these armor coatings. And yeah, it's like, I'm super happy I was able to show it off to you guys in a new video. So again, this is the undisputed number 1 armor coating in Halo Infinite. So yeah, and then, you know, I'm just gonna quickly, before I move on, just go through each armor coating real quick, just to see if any maybe that I missed. You know, these are pretty much every coating in the game currently. I don't really think I missed any. Just want to go over real quick. You know, as I'm going through these, it's really wild how many armor coatings that 343 have given so far. Um, you know, the game hasn't even officially been out for a year, and even though the customization is a lot to be desired, and a lot of people don't like the and by the way, like all the HCS armor coatings too look absolutely sick, and I love how the playoff coatings are fully customizable. I really hope that they can go back and do that for the season 1 coatings as well, but unfortunately they are still locked to a kit. I'm assuming that they're always going to be, but hopefully I'm pleasantly surprised and one day they are not. But these are also dope as well. Obviously they're not super rare because you can buy them. They're in the shop right now, so they're not on the list, but they look super cool. This is going by the Fanatic. This is a very nice armor coating to wear for Halloween, by the way. But you know, a lot of people don't really like the armor coating system because it's very restrictive, and you know, I kind of get that. I think a better system would be if they released or was able to just do like materials and colors and patterns, and then we were given the full customization to put those colors and patterns where we want them to, and then fully customize it that way. I feel like that would be a better system, and you never know, maybe 343 in the future will change it to that system once everything goes cross-core. We might see that as a new way instead of how the armor coatings are shown, or at least provided right now. But even so, like has been a lot of armor coatings so far, and this is not even cross-core yet. Like, it's kind of crazy. I'll show real quick too how many visors are now available to, you know, for you to use. You know, these are all, everything I'm showing right now is only available. Well, some are not, but some are for Mark V and the Uri as well. But most of the, I would say like 90 to 95% of these armor coatings are only for the Mark VII. So can you imagine once cross-core comes out for everything, how much customization if you've been keeping, you know, if you've been buying everything like I've been, how much customization like someone that buys a lot of things will have. It's going to be actually nutty how much customization is available once they go full cross-core. And I think the next cross-core items are going to be helmets, I believe, and chest pieces. And then after that, I'm assuming they're going to do, eventually they're going to do armor coatings cross-core as well. It's a little bit tougher than just applying, because apparently they all have like their different sort of like, I forgot the technical term for it, but it's not as simple as putting Wild Coven on, you know, the Uri or the Rakshasha. You can't just like move one to the other. There's like a whole different system in terms of how it works for each armor coating, and there would be, you know, if you just move it over one to one, it won't look good because it actually won't cover it directly how it should. There's a lot of technical terms that go into it, but I completely understand why they can't just quickly flip a switch and move things over. Everything has to be custom tailored to each core when it comes to the coatings. A little bit different with visors and whatnot and helmets, but I can see coatings take a little bit longer, but I'm assuming they're, you know, they said they are. I can't assume. I mean, they are eventually going to come over. So yeah, I mean, these are, most of the ones I highlighted in the video are probably the rarest, but there's so many that just look cool, and there's so many choices. So yeah, and then going to the visors too, like it's crazy. Like before, these are all cross-core now. I mean, there's so many visors you could choose now. It's actually insane going from the season 1 battle pass, season 2 battle pass, you know, the store, event passes, Twitch drops. I mean, there's so, actually I don't think there's been a Twitch drop visor, but you get what I'm saying. And there's just so many that you can get, and there's still so many that are locked that are going to come up either in the shop or as, you know, capstone rewards coming up, probably through event passes that are coming up. So there's still like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's still 10, 11, 12 that are locked. So, and more to come, obviously, for, you know, the second year of Halo Infinite. So a lot of different customization options already in this first year. Now, and then in here too, I mean, I would, yeah, pineapple nades definitely Probably the rarest thing. You know, there's some other rare things too here. This is from the soldier set, which not many people got. You got the knife, the teddy bear. The only one I actually didn't get, which hopefully that comes back in the winter update. This was a part of the Grenadier pack, which was for 1,000 credits that only showed up one time back in the shop. This is actually the only thing I don't have, is the Grenadier pack. I know that's so random, but this is the only thing I don't have. And I think the Grenadier pack came with a bunch of different things. It came with like a nameplate, emblems. It came with the Jorge weapon charm. It came with this chest piece, which actually is a pretty cool looking chest piece, honestly. So hopefully this comes back for the winter update, because this is actually the only thing I missed. So that's kind of weird, but I didn't even know it came out. I looked it up later. I'm like, why is this still locked? I'm like, is this never came out? And then when I looked up and I saw that I missed it, I was really pissed. But yeah, hopefully it comes back. And then again, shoulders, nothing too crazy with these. Nothing too rare when it comes to these. I would say the only rare hip attachment is probably the knife. Not many people have that, or it's probably the least amount of people that have this. Too, probably the soldier hip attachment as well, because it came from that bundle. There's actually some daily ones too. Like this one's pretty rare because it came from a daily. And then, yeah, a bunch of different armor emblems as well. Probably, honestly, the rarest stuff that came from this. Oh, there's two. That's the thing with nameplates and emblems. There are so many freaking nameplates and emblems. It's insane. Like I said before, probably the rarest would be the Oscillation from the Nabisco promo that I was able to get. Well, the other ones aren't, I wouldn't say they're too rare, to be honest with you. They're all either in the store. And nothing too crazy. This is Soul Testing Grounds. This was rare, but then they released this again when people tested the network co-op. They brought these back, so this still kind of rare, but not too rare anymore because they brought that back. And what else here? And this is rare, the 152 Eld armor emblem. And then the Earth Unicorn, which is a Discord exclusive for the giveaways. And that's something I don't have either. I don't have the Fire Unicorn or the Ice Unicorn, but I do have the Discord exclusive Earth Unicorn. And then there's a few that have, this is the Grenadier pack one that I mentioned before that I don't have. And then these just never been released so far. These three right here. So. All right. And then let's quickly take a look at the weapon. Weapon-wise, you know, this one I have on perfect detail is pretty rare. I would say I'm not going to go over each one, honestly, because we'll be here for we'll be here for like 2 hours on different things. I would say the rarest weapon coating is probably the Adrenal weapon coatings. And this was an old 2020 promotion around the same time, the Nabisco actually, and the initial Kroger promo. This is around like November of 2020 that these were going on, where, you know, Halo Infinite, like kind of how Rockstar is now, that does promotions with Halo Infinite back in 2020 before the game was delayed. Monster Energy had a Halo Infinite promotion on its cans and offered the Adrenal weapon set. And that's how you got these. And there was actually a lot of codes with them too. There was 4 codes. So you had one for the AR. And then you had one for the pistol, which is here. It's actually kind of cool. You can actually go into, like, you can like equip this, right? And then go to where the charm is, and then you could still rotate. Oh, you can't really rotate it that much, but there's a way to rotate it better. I forgot. Here we go. And that's still whack. Yeah, but anyway. So, you know, I had one for the pistol. You had one for the BR here, you know, and they came, this one, I mean, in my opinion, the Adrenal stuff is still, like, these are the sexiest looking armor coatings for the weapon coatings. And I have a little bit of bias because my favorite color is green. So I just love this coating a lot, just because the black is this midnight black with a sheen to it. A lot of other weapon coatings aren't as like a dark midnight black like the Monster Adrenal coatings are. And then the green itself is this nice sort of sage forest green. It looks really nice. And then The other things that paired with this too is that you had the 4 coatings. The other one was for the Commando. Came with 2 nameplates, the Phalanx and the Xiphos, which is right here, and they came with 2 weapon emblems, which is right here showing one, and then the other one right here, as you see here. It was like a little sword emblem, and it also came with nameplates as well, which I'll show off quickly in the future. But yeah, I think it looks really cool. And like I said before too, it actually matches perfectly. It doesn't match perfectly, but it works really well with granular, with the midnight black undersuit, and then with the green accents of the visor. So it's like a nice pairing of like the super flex of wearing granular with the adrenal stuff. So yeah, I mean, the adrenal coatings are really sleek. And surprisingly, you could still get them, but they are super duper expensive now. I think a full set, so it's 8 codes, 4 weapon coatings, 2 nameplates, and 2 weapon emblems. So 8 total codes. I think a full set on eBay recently sold for like $3,000. So yeah, good luck if you want the full set. They're super expensive now, and I think the codes are finally starting to dry up. That's why that one was so expensive, because it might have been like, I haven't checked eBay recently, but that might have been one of the last like full set for the monster stuff. You can still find like individual things like the nameplates, but even like the individual stuff is super inflated in pricing. Like the nameplate, one of the nameplates is like $200, and like the BR, if you just want the BR for this, it's like $800. So yeah, I mean, at this point, if you don't have these coatings yet, hopefully, like I said before, hopefully just like the Nabisco stuff, eventually these also come back, because they're really cool, and I wish more people would get them. So hopefully they do come back. But as of now, I mean, they're still somewhat available if you really purchase a high premium on eBay. Otherwise, right now they're impossible to get. But yeah, I would consider these probably the rarest. Definitely one of the rarest weapon coatings in the game, aside from Watchdog. But again, that's tied to getting max rank in 150 in Halo 5 for Spartan rank 152. And then just I guess some extra things before I move on real quick, in terms of like, again, like I said, weapon emblems, probably those 2 are the rarest. Most of these are the same as the vehicle emblems and the armor emblems. There's some differences here and there. Like I said, these are the monster emblems are only available. They're not available as armor emblems or vehicle emblems, so they're only for the weapons. So these are easily the 2 rarest weapon emblems in the game. And there's nothing other like really exclusive about that. And then charm wise, there really aren't. I mean, I would consider there's probably the rarest charm in the game. Actually, now that I'm mentioning charms, the rarest charm in the game, and this was recently announced, is going to be the Halo World Championships 2022 charm. I'll put a graphic up right now to show you guys what it looks like. The only way to get this charm is going to be attending the Worlds tournament, the final Worlds tournament coming up on October 20th of this year, later this month. And you actually have to attend the event. When you attend and do the check-in, they will actually just give you a code to redeem on Waypoint. This is not going to be a Twitch drop. And, you know, since the charm says 2020 Worlds 2022, obviously this is not going to come back in the future. I'm assuming, I'm like 99% sure this is definitely not going to come back as like a Twitch drop in 2023 sometime. I mean, this is going to be exclusive to the people that show up to the event. My only worry is that since it's a code that has to be redeemed, instead of them just giving you, you know, like somehow just acquire, you know, giving your gamer tag and then just having them manually add it, like the unicorn stuff, you know, people are probably going to sell those on eBay for a crazy amount of money. So I'm really curious to see if anyone does sell the code that goes to the event. I want to see how much it's going to be worth, because it's going to be a lot of money. But that's definitely going to be the rarest charm in the game. But aside from that new 2022 charm, I would say the rarest charm is probably attached to, again, a Mega Constructs promotion. And it was called Micro Chief. And it's this one right here, Micro Action, I should say. Build a Legend. So I can't get closer than this. There we go. But it's like a little mini Master Chief. Actually pretty damn detailed for a charm. And he's carrying a white AR. I would say that this is probably the rarest, aside from the 2022 Worlds charm that's going to come out. Probably this is going to be you know, pretty rare charm. It's still available, but again, I mean, for a charm on eBay, this is going for like, I forgot what it was going for. I've seen them go for like $100, honestly. So this is a very expensive charm. I forgot exactly. I don't think I have it written down. I'm not sure what Mega Constructs promotion this was attached to, but all I know is that it was attached to an old 2020 Mega Constructs promotion back when Action Block was going on and stuff like that. This was another purchase, and you were able to get this charm. So that's probably going to be the rarest out of all of these. Everything else was either bought in the store or Twitch drops, nothing, or capstone rewards. Nothing too crazy. Actually, a lot of these are pretty rare because they were in old Season 1 bundles that just haven't come back yet. So as of now, these are pretty rare. This one, apparently, even though it says that this apparently is a campaign one that they just never released. And then this one was from the Grenadier pack, like I said before, that I don't have. But all the other ones I do have. I would say aside from that too, probably the Perfect Control. I wouldn't say this is the rarest, but this is definitely the most expensive because this was tied to buying the Halo Infinite themed Elite Series 2 controller, which I think retails for like $250. So I have the regular Elite 2, and a lot of people shit on this controller, but I love this controller, by the way. I mean, the reason why I like this controller over the Scuff is because the paddles. Do they have the paddles on the back? Oh, they do. Wow, what a crazy detail. Can you see that real quick in the back? They actually have the paddles attached to this charm. That's insane. But yeah, I love the paddles a lot on this. They're so easy to hit with your fingers. They're not stiff or rigid like the Scuff. I remember I had a Scuff controller a few years ago, and the paddles sucked ass, in my opinion. Oh, they were so terrible. They were so stiff. And I was able to get I had 4 of them. I need 4. I play with 4 paddles. So I need all 4. And the Elite Series 2, it makes it super easy to hit all 4 paddles without hurting my hand. The Scuff was horrendous with that. So a lot of people complain about the build quality, but I've never had issues. Knock on wood, I've never had issues with the build quality of these. Maybe because I actually take care of my controllers and I don't mash and rage with them. But yeah, this is, again, I wouldn't say, I guess it's kind of rare, but probably not. It's only rare because of how expensive it was, to be honest with you. It's still, I'm not even sure if these are still in stock, the Halo Infinite Elite 2s. I haven't checked recently. Maybe they don't even sell them anymore, in which case this definitely would be considered rare nowadays. All right, and quickly, there aren't too many, honestly, there aren't too many vehicle coatings that are rare. I would say the 2 rarest ones, actually there's a really rare one I'll put up in a little graphic in a little bit. I would say probably the 2 rarest ones would be the Action Block Warthog. Again, this was an old 2020 promotion. For the Warthog, you actually had to buy something called the Pelican Inbound set, and it had to have a special ULC sticker attached to them. And you got the Action Block Warthog, which looks pretty cool. I actually really like the red oil canisters on the back because it pairs really well with the Tri-Vector vehicle emblem. So, and it also has the red arrows here for some reason, so it actually meshes really well. And I also have the honeycomb wheels, which are my favorite attachments. That's something I wish that 343 would do too. Like, it's so stupid that I can only choose one of these. And for some reason, 343 has like really done away with the model system. Like, they sold a few models for weapons and vehicles, and that was during Season 1, and we haven't seen any new models in quite some time. I'm assuming it's because they're reworking the system so we can choose more than one model at a time. That's my sort of hopium take on it. But, it's stupid that I can't wear, say, for instance, the flaps, or a better thing is like, why can't I wear, the Longhorn attachment, which goes on the top of the hood, and then also have the honeycomb wheels? They're 2 separate things. Like, it makes no sense that I have to choose between one or the other. That's so stupid to me that they didn't, plan ahead for that to work out. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's so weird to me. But Notice how the wheel, these are the default wheels, and they're kind of The honeycomb wheels are super chunky ass wheels, and I think the honeycomb wheels make it look so sick. And it doesn't really show in action block, but if you go through other coatings, the wheels change. So for instance, like this one, if you use the Cherry Bomb, which was a Kroger promotion, it has the red outline right here. I guess this is actually funny that I landed on this coating. This is actually probably the other coating that's pretty rare. This was part of the Kroger promotion back in 2021, and this is a good time to show. This was the 2021 promotion for Kroger. You got the Cherry Bomb Warthog, which looks pretty dope. There was actually a 2020 promotion from Kroger as well, and it gave you a coating called the Septimal Azure Warthog coating. This is from an Xbox Kroger's Kellogg's promotion. And the reason why it's so rare is because it was only redeemable for 1 month back in November of 2020 before the game got delayed. And you actually had to go to a Kroger's and then buy something from there. I forgot what you had to buy, something Halo Infinite themed or food themed or something like that. And then put in the ticket receipt in their website, and you got a code, Halo Waypoint code, and it gave you the Septimal Azure. I have it up on the screen right now. And again, this screenshot is in thanks to Sizzlin. This is actually his Spartan that's in Monarch showing, because he was like one of the few people. I feel like there's only a few people in the world that have this coating. I didn't even think it existed for months after the game came out, because I thought it was just the Cherry Bomb. I thought it got converted into the Cherry Bomb because I've never seen it in game, but apparently Sizzlin has it and a few other people have it. So yeah, that was the old 2020 Kroger's promotion. That's easily the rarest vehicle coating in the game, by the way. Not many people have that coating at all. And it's basically the same as the Cherry Bomb coating. The only difference is that, Septimal Azure has the blue, and then they just changed for the promotion a year later, they changed the blue to red. So depending on what color you like better, that's the better coating. Personally, I would just rock the Azure coating just because of how rare it is. But the Cherry Bomb is also, pretty rare in my opinion for a Warthog coating. Everything else, not so much rare. Probably the other rarest one, what I would assume is the Perfect Detail. This came from like a Wicked Cool Toys promotion that originally wasn't in the game for a few months. They had to add it on later, like the Buzz Lightyear looking Warthog. So again, that's relatively rare, but nothing too crazy. And then I would say the other probably pretty rare coating comes from the Mongoose of all things, and that's the Pop Dolly Mongoose. This monstrosity. Whoever designed this deserves a raise, to be honest with you. I mean, this was the reason why this is rare, because this was a UK exclusive from a retail store called Game. UK has taken many L's when it comes to Halo Infinite promotions, and they finally got their exclusive promotion, and it was this monstrosity on the Mongoose. It's a super goofy looking coating, but hey, I like granular, so that means I like this as well. I love super goofy things like this, and it's hilarious riding this with the granular coating, and you just look like a clown in a big team battle, and it's just amazing. But yeah, this I consider pretty rare too, because it's a UK exclusive. So this never came out in the US. So the only way US people were able to get this coating is if they bought a code on eBay, which is I had to do. I still think this is available. I haven't actually looked at eBay recently for Pop Dolly skins, but I'm assuming it's still available. But it's probably I would say it's pretty expensive because the promotion has been long gone in the UK in game. So, if there are codes still available, it's probably pretty expensive at this point, but I just rock it because of how goofy it is. And just because it was a UK exclusive, it's probably considered one of the rare vehicle coatings in the game. Aside from those two, there's really not many other rare coatings. The only reason why some of them would be rare, like the Noble Principle, out of all of them, is probably the rarest out of the tank ones, because this was attached to an old Season 1 bundle that not many people have. But in terms of, there weren't really, besides the Kroger Warthogs and the Action Block Warthog and the Pop Dolly Mongoose, there was really no other promotional vehicle coatings that became rare. So all the other ones, then I forgot about the the Razorback and the Rockstar Nocturne Sky coatings. But again, these aren't really considered rare because that promotion ran for a long time during Halo Infinite's release. So I feel like a lot of people had these coatings, and they're still pretty sick. The only thing weird with this is that this is Nocturne Sky, and they released the RE8 Midnight in the shop, and I can't go back and forth, but it looks pretty similar. The only difference is that, like, wait, can I? What do I have on currently? This is so weird. I have Nocturne Sky. Why is it not doing it? Oh, there we go. So the only difference is that RE8 Midnight is not as black. I would say if you look at the wheels, see how like kind of like scuffs up the wheels, while Nocturne Sky is like a matte black. So it's like a deeper shade of black, and then there's more gold accents. So it's like the most apparent one is like the gold stripe that goes down the middle that just disappears with the RE8 Midnight. This is like a budget Nocturne Sky, honestly, and they have a white version of it as well. But yeah, Nocturne Sky, not super rare, but still a clean looking skin that came from a promotion. Yeah, and then the other one's not so much. With body and AI, really the only one is Mr. Chief, because this came from an old bundle.
Are you worthy enough to select me?
But not really rare. I wouldn't consider it rare. And then for the Spartan ID, before I end this video, I just want to go over nameplates that were considered rare. I would say the rarest one I have included right now, and it's called Delta Diamond. This was attached to, this was the 5th code included in the Nabisco promotion back in 2020. Again, the reason why I got this was that guy had all 5 unredeemed codes amazingly. It actually blows my mind he still had all 5 codes unredeemed. But I was able to get Delta Diamond nameplate here. An absolutely hideous looking nameplate, don't get me wrong, but I rock it just because of how rare it is. I would say very, very few people have this nameplate. It kind of meshes with granular, just because of how goofy and how colorful it is. So, you know, I have it with this Reach backdrop as well. It has like the diamond theme going on. So yeah, I just rock it just because of how freaking rare the Delta Diamond nameplate is. And I'll throw this up as well. They also had a Delta Diamond armor emblem, which I didn't even know existed. And apparently this was the reason why not a lot of people have this. And this is probably one of the rarest things in the game, is just because it was only included in the Canadian promotion for Nabisco. And it was called Stack On with Xbox. And it was Canadian exclusive, as weird as that sounds. So even if you got all the codes for the US Nabisco promotion, it didn't include the Delta Diamond armor emblem. It only included the nameplate. So the only way to get the Delta Diamond armor emblem is having a code via the Canadian promotion. So, I mean, good luck finding that. I don't think any are included right now, ever. Like, there's no codes left for that. So that's definitely one of the rarest things in the game, in my opinion. And it's a really ugly looking armor emblem, funny enough. So, and then aside from that nameplate, there's really not too many others. I mean, the thumbnail of this video also had the monster stuff. Nothing really crazy. Again, most of these are just bought in the store. Some other promotions that aren't as rare. Login rewards, Twitch drops, you name it. There's so many. I mean, it's actually crazy how many nameplates there are. And that's another thing too. I know they have a filter system here, but my God, do they need a better system for people that buy stuff? Like, it's such a pain in the ass when you have so many nameplates that they're all just lined up in a row. Like, they got to come up with a better UI system here. But anyway. And then besides that, you know, this was from a Twitch drop. These were from Butterfinger promotion. This is from the Razer Mouse Infinite themed. Wicked cool toys. And then, yeah, I would say the other ones, like I said, these are the monster nameplates. So this is one of the monster. I mean, they're super, you know, very basic for a nameplate, but kind of cool with the Spartan, like the old school Spartan theme too. And green, like I said, green's my favorite color. So I used to rock this before I got Delta Diamond, just because of I like the simple look. I like green, and these are, flexed for the rarity. So that was one of them. And then the other is all the way in the back, and it's this one. Little sword theme, Zyphos. They even have their own like description here, which is kind of crazy. And then aside from that, the only other two I would consider kind of rare is, again, the 152 nameplate here, and then the Discord exclusive Unicorn of Earth, which are giveaways in the official Halo Discord if you weren't aware of those. They usually do giveaways during tournaments, so if you want this nameplate and emblem, because you get emblems for the armor, weapons, and vehicles too for this, join the official Halo Discord, and then they're probably going to run giveaways during the Halo World Championships, the Worlds tournament later this month. They're probably going to do a bunch of giveaways for this. So if you still want this nameplate, definitely join the Discord and look out for the giveaway tab. And I'm sure they're going to do a bunch during the Worlds tournament coming up. Aside from that, before I end the video, I have a few other things that I don't have personally because they're impossible to get for the general public, or I just don't have them yet. So I'm going to throw those up now, and that's the fire and ice unicorn. So currently there's 3 unicorn palettes in the game. One I have is earth, and there's a fire, and there's ice. There's actually like 10 others, but they're currently not in the game. You're not able to get them in the game yet, so there's only 3 of them so far. With the ice unicorn, the way to get that is you have to match 343 in a community playdate. Honestly, super tough, because they only do playdates like once every blue moon. They don't do playdates a lot for some reason. They only do them for like 2 hours, and there's thousands of people trying to match them at the same time. So you have to just get super lucky and hope you queue. And of course, with the Twitch delay, you have to queue like 5 or 6 seconds before they do. So it's so hard to, you have to be so lucky to match them, accounting for the Twitch delay and thousands of other people trying to match them in these games. They do like a play date like twice, once every 2 months or something like that, maybe even longer. And then they do it for 2 hours and that's it. So, it's super tough to get the ice unicorn. You have to be super lucky. But it's a pretty cool looking nameplate. It also comes with a lot of cool palettes as well. So I think my favorite palette for the ice unicorn is probably the one on the bottom, warning sign. I really like that design on the bottom. And then I think the default one too is like a nice winter themed, color palette for the ice unicorn. And then the other one, the rarest unicorn so far, is called the Unicorn of Fire. Now the way to get this is you have to have your creative efforts, is what they say. It has to be highlighted in the community spotlight. So what that means basically is you have to create some sort of, Halo themed cosplay, or a lot of times they choose a lot of like really talented artwork that the community has made, and they highlight it in community spotlights. And if you get chosen, you can submit your gamer tag to acquire the Fire Unicorn set. The only other way that people got this in the past was during the old flight testing back in July and October of 2021. They had challenges. So like one of the challenges was, most bots killed during the July test, or in the October test, it was most, PvP kills. And if you were one of the top people on that list, you also were able to get the Fire Unicorn rewards. Obviously the flights are over, so the only way to get the Fire Unicorn stuff now is to have your submission featured on the community spotlight, which again only shows up once a month, maybe even like once every other month. And you have to be a super talented artist, because I've seen some like bad not bad, but like, children's drawings show up, or even like in-game screenshots, like cool screenshots of Halo Infinite theater screenshots. So you don't have to be super talented. You just have to get lucky. But most of the time, I'll say 90% of the time, in order to have your stuff featured, you have to be super talented. either via making a a costume or something for Halo, or like a really cool looking art piece. So unfortunately, I don't have an artistic bone in my entire body, so the chance of me getting the Fire Unicorn stuff is basically 0%. So I've just come to accept I'm never going to get the Fire Unicorn stuff unless they have another way to get it in the future. The Fire Unicorn has a lot of cool palettes as well. I really like the Cinnabar Storm for the Fire Unicorn. That looks so sick to me, in my opinion. Magical Dust looks cool too. The default looks cool. So, yeah, I mean, if I had Fire Unicorn, I would 100% rock that because it's super rare and it looks really cool too. Probably the best looking unicorn nameplate out of the three, in my opinion. And then last but not least, we're going to go into the stuff that is not even available to the general public before I end the video. So let me go into what I have here. So what I'm going to put up now is called Unicorn Dream. And these are only available if you're a 343 employee. So you have to work for 343 to get this. And they have Unicorn Dream armor coatings for the 3 launch from Mark V, the Mark VII Uri. It also has 3 weapon coatings too for the BR, the AR, and the Sidekick. Sort of like how they release stuff for the Watchdog set. They have the Unicorn Dream set for themselves. It's a really unique looking coating, and I'll put up another coating here too in a little bit. And that coating was the old render for the granular coating, which is crazy, right? Because if you see what granular looks like today, it looks nothing like the old render. And no one knew. It's like people, when they got granular back in 2020 and they redeemed the code, they thought they were going to get this coating. And then they log into the game and it's something completely different. So it's such a weird change. But what I think happened was, I think 343 took the old granular render and they just made it into Unicorn Dream. That's like my theory. I mean, the only similarity at this point is the outer coating. It still has that like very, I don't even know what color that is. It's like a very almost like a teal / like cyan coating for the armor. That's really the only similarity with the old granular, but it really does match pretty well. And then they changed a lot of the undersuit, so it's not, the undersuit's not as colorful anymore. But in my opinion, I feel like they took the render and just made it into Unicorn Dream for themselves, to be honest with you. Which is fine by me because in my opinion, I like how granular looks today way better than this render, in my opinion. But yeah, all this stuff is 343 exclusive stuff. And then the other thing I want to put up now too is that these all these armor, all these nameplates and emblems and charms are all 343 exclusive. So 343 had a field day with giving themselves exclusive shit, as you can see. So, off to the left, they have the official 343 nameplate and emblems on the bottom. Fotis is one that you never see, but apparently this is also 343 inspired, or not inspired, but 343 exclusive. And, the backstory to this is, I think back when they announced that they were going to release the Master Chief Collection on PC, I remember like tons of people were sending them pizza at the office. And it got to the point where Sketch actually had to like tweet out, please stop sending us pizza, because they ended up having like hundreds of like pizza pies at their office and they just couldn't eat it all. So I think that's the backstory to this nameplate. And, it even has that 343 charm that you can see on the bottom, which is pretty cool. And then another nameplate that I think I've only seen one person have is called the Forum Goer Chief, which is sort of similar to the Social Media Chief. The only difference is the emblem looks different. It's like an angrier looking chief, I guess, to mimic a forum goer. Get it? Yeah, and then the background's a little bit different. But apparently that's also exclusive. And then of course the iconic Noble Fire armor effect, which is basically the same as the season 1 fire effect. The only difference is that it's blue instead of orange. That's how you can kind of pinpoint who's a 343 dev, because only 343 developers get that blue Noble Fire armor effect. And then one last thing before I end the video, I'm showing off on stream right now the Forerunner / Pilot beta testing exclusive cosmetics. So these are super rare because these were a select group of people that were mostly, involved with Halo in some official capacity, or content creators, streamers, and whatnot. So I believe only like 20 to like 25 people in the entire world have these nameplates and emblems. So these are super, super exclusive. Obviously, these were people who beta tested the game even before the flights came out and was not available to the general public. But it was the Zeta, the UEG, cartographic, I don't even know if I'm saying that right, cartographic core, and the Special Warfare Center nameplates and emblems. And you can see there's a ton of color palettes associated with these nameplates as well. There's a lot of cool stuff, man. Like, I've seen like Uber Nick and like Nated have the Zeta nameplate when I watch them stream. The UEG cartographic cores, cartographic cores, God, I can't say that word. I don't see anyone wear this, to be honest with you. I'm not sure why. It's a pretty sick looking nameplate. I mean, in terms of like color palettes, I would say the Sun-Kissed Opal looks really dope. And then Special Warfare Center too has so many different color palettes. Like, damn. And again, Sun-Kissed Opal looks great. New Vista looks dope. So yeah, I just wanted to quickly show off these as well, because even though these aren't publicly available, it's still obviously rare cosmetics that only, a few dozen people in the world have. So I just wanted to quickly show those off as well. And the last thing I wanted to show, before I was going to end the video, and then I realized I had these as well. So quickly too, I don't think some of these are 343 exclusive that I'm showing, but I know one of them is. I believe Olive is. I know the Timmy nameplate is not 343 exclusive. However, you have to be a monitor / basically a monitor is a moderator on the Halo Waypoint forums. And that's the only way to get the Timmy nameplate. And then I believe for Olive, you have to be a dev, and Wild Wolf as well. Wild Wolf, right now, as you see, it's source pending, so it might not even be in the game, honestly, and no one knows how to get them. I believe I've seen Olive as a 343 exclusive. It also has that charm, which I have not seen yet. So I just wanted to quickly show these off as well. I definitely know Timmy's in the game because I've seen people wear it in game. Probably the most prominent person that wears it is Accelerate, who's a Twitch streamer and has worked with 343 in the past. I would highly recommend as well. He's a great dude, super skilled with mouse and keyboard. Definitely check his stream out and his YouTube and all that. It's XLR8. All right, guys, so that's it for this video. It's probably a lot longer than I thought it was going to be, but if you enjoyed it, let me know. And again, just like the last video, comment down below if you know of any other rare things that I have missed. I feel like this was a pretty comprehensive list of all the rare cosmetics in the game. I probably missed a few here and there, but I feel like I covered mostly everything. But if you know of other things, tell me in the comments below. And if you have any other ideas for future videos that I can do, or if you'd like to see, let me know as well. I'll try to get it done. But again, I enjoy making these videos. Maybe I'll make a video in the future. Well, the thing is, there's so much controversy with this game, and there's so many rumors going on right now in terms of everyone saying that this game is being moved on because the next game, Halo the Endless, and the new Certain Affinities Battle Royale got delayed, and everything's changing to the Unreal Engine. I mean, I don't want to talk about it too much because that should be a whole nother video, but it is what it is. It's all rumors, and until it's official, I'm going to enjoy this game. I'm going to keep playing this game, and I'm going to keep supporting this game because I enjoy it. I enjoy collecting things, and I enjoy the gameplay. So I'm going to support what I enjoy. If you feel the same, or if you have any comments down below, let me know for future videos or other things that you'd like to see. That's rare, that hasn't been highlighted, and it would interest me because I feel like I was pretty comprehensive. But that's it for me, guys. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.